Western Clash. This kind of illustrates how important every single map is early on the stage. You gotta win the matches that you gotta win in the early weeks, in the early phases of the HGC, because it will come and bite you towards the end of the side when you're facing off against these huge opponents that have been dominating all year.
It's what we've been talking about on the first play day already, when we said every single map matters. And I guarantee there were a few even players who were just listening and was like, ah, whatever. And now we're looking at Tricked and Team Liquid, and it literally comes, as we are heading into the last play, down to a single map advantage that Team Liquid currently has. So that could definitely be the one thing that sends Liquid over Trick towards the Western Clash. So every single map matters, which means that even if you go up against an opponent that is insanely strong, as for example Dignitas, if the Zealots just take one map, take two maps, that's already a big step forward when it comes to not ending up in the Crucible or maybe going to the mid-season.
Well, let's go ahead and start to look at the draft here, as Abathur will be banned out, Dignitas taking him off the battleground. Zealots, what will they answer back with? Will they ban out Blaze? Is that a possibility for them? Tracer still.
So allowing Blaze to potentially be taken as the first pick, but I wouldn't really say that they necessarily are going to do that. We've been talking about the Haka and the priority that he has for Dignitas. So Dignitas can pick anything else if they want, allow the Zealots to take Blaze, and then they themselves can still secure the Haka for themselves. So that's an option that they have here. The Tracer ban, as we said before, isn't really too shocking considering that we have Dignitas with a 6-0 on Tracer, and Tracer in Europe currently doing better and better with each passing week. So for the first pick on the side of Team Dignitas, we actually see the Haka taken by them.
And I'm alright with that.
I'm alright with it too, but I don't think they needed to do it, because no matter what happens, if they don't pick an offlaner here, but they decide in favor of any other hero, then Zealots is not going to pick Blaze and the Haka.
Sure.
The chance of that happening are very slim. So if you don't pick an offliner on your first position, then your opponent gets one of the two, and I feel that Dignitas would probably have been okay with either one or the other. So in this case, they decide that it's worth it for them to still take it. With another team, I would probably have said, okay, maybe a bit of an opportunity lost during the draft here, where heading into a non-off-laner as your first pick might have given you an edge over your opponent.
Well, regardless, Taka's here. Blaze will be answered back here for Zealots. Well, we get the Hanzo back. I want to see the Hanzo. It's been important for them. We're getting the Genji, though. Genji coming out for Zealots.
Yeah, now with that theory, with that theory about the offlaner, Zealots of course have to take Blaze now, because after the picks of Dignitas, we're heading into the bans. If you don't take Blaze, then he is going to be banned out. We've already seen him very occasionally banned on the first position. I think that happened once, but we've seen him definitely banned on the second spot, and normally he even ends up in the first pick position. But as we alluded to a bit earlier, Dignitas is extremely successful with the Haka, so it doesn't come as a surprise that they opt into the global instead.
So from Dignitas, what do you want to see here? Do we want to get...
I would still really like to see Greymane. Again, we have now the new Greymane in game. Normally, we're seeing a lot of Malfurion play also from Dignitas on this map. So any kind of setup that evolves around the C chains that they usually try to employ is something that I would really love to see. So maybe Malfurion being picked right now, and together with that a damage dealer that could be Greymane. We could see Tyrael, for example, as well, caters towards the map. Yes, it's Tyrael, but no support. Instead, they are heading into Hanzo as the damage.
Yeah, I was curious to see if we would get the Malfurion pickup and then have the Uther ban come in from Dignitas, but they're just leaving it open-ended here so they can ban another target out and force Zealots to think about the Vandal sports.
Personally, I would have expected them to pick Malfurion as well, since I could see Zealots banning Malfurion and then picking Uther themselves. So that's definitely one of the reactions that we could see here. And the more I look at it, it's actually also what I would like to see.
You would have preferred the Malfurion pickup?
No, I want Zealots to ban Malfurion out now. In the situation that we have, I feel banning Malfurion here and then picking Uther for yourself, if Dignitas doesn't ban Uther out, would really be a good spot, and that would force Dignitas into Rhaegar or Lucio, and I think that's probably something that you can definitely live with here.
I think if they ban out Malfurion, though, they'll go straight into an Uther ban. But we would put Zealots in a spot where they have to get a different healer. They could still move into Rhaegar. I don't know, Zealots have to decide. Do we want to try and make the support choices a little bit off here? They ban out Uther instead, putting the pressure on Dignitas to think about banning Rhaegar, again, and sister healing with the Genji.
Can you
but
ask
that
you
gives up
something weird?
Malfurion.
Can I ask you something weird?
What's that?
Does it smell like cat food?
It smells like something is burning in here. but the viewers at
It's
home
not,
don't
it's
know
not
that.
me, right?
No, it's not you. There's something going on here.
The entire time it's just like, it smells like
Maybe
cat
our
food.
building is on fire. We're gonna go down in flames, casting HGC for
Fire?
you. Maybe it's like a burning cat food. I smell it. It's
Just-
something.
Maybe it's different where you stand, but for me it's cat food.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
You have
All
weird
right.
cat food in Europe then.
Huh?
You have weird cat food in Europe. Cat food here is flavored with like.
Okay, it's probably
Tuna.
it probably just smells different where you are.
That's probably true.
Maybe you're closer to the source, or I am, one of the two.
Probably true. There's a weird smell here, but
Sorry for the little bit off topic, but that has really bothered me for the last few minutes. Okay, we had Uther banned out, and now we see the ban on ETC on the tank. So if you ban Uther, what's really the thought process of what you want to head into? Because normally when you see Genji, the immediate jump to is, well, you want to have Uther. You want to have the Divine Shield,
Sure.
you want to have Dragon Blade, and you go in with it. So they decided against it, which means they already know what support they're going to get, and that has to be Lucio, right? If you have Genji on your side, and your opponent is already running Tyrael, you probably don't want them to have Lucio too, so that they can't basically completely negate your Dragon Blade. Malfurion.
and Lenara.
Alright, so Malf taken. That's one of Dignitas' go-to, and instead they allow them to take Lucio or Rega. Lunara now. Okay. I can see that a lot more. If Lunara can poke a lot, and then with Lunara's damage over time, and also Genji with the Dragon Blade, Lucio is going to have a much harder time.
Yeah, Genji comes in for the cleanup. Okay, so Dignitas. You have to answer back with some kind of heal that can sustain through Lenara damage. There's a couple options here. There's Rhaegar, there's Lucio.
Okay, so now that we mentioned cat food, someone immediately walked in and started sniffing the room. That's my favorite thing. It's like...
They're making sure we're okay.
Listen, guys, is there cat food somewhere?
Yeah, it's something. Somebody has a pet here. I don't know what it is, man.
But yeah, how do you like the Lunara together with Genji?
I mean, we've seen it in the past. It's a good combination. Team Liquid's shown it in the past. It's great. It kills people.
Okay.
As you get the setup for it, you have Genji moving in.
No, the question was, the reason for the question was, Rhaegar, Lucio. What do you pick now?
I think Rhaegar. They get Lucio, though. Rhaegar, I feel like I would move into just to make sure that if you ever have that Malfurion route or that Blaze engage coming your way, you have the cleanse to make sure that target doesn't get taken out, because you have a couple of squishies on the opposing side. However, Team Dignitas moves into Lucio, which is a Zelia special, so I don't mind it, and they bring out Diablo for their 5th pick.
I'm still thinking about the Uther ban and the Malfurion reaction here. And if I really expected them to ban out Malfurion and go for Uther themselves, and they do it the other way around.
Well, I think they felt if they ban Malfurion, Dignitas would respond with an Uther ban, and they'd be stuck with Rhaegar, right?
Sorry?
Which is fine. If Uther is banned out, Dignitas bans Malfurion or Rhaegar, it would have been difficult for them.
How? They still would have either Rhaegar, which they played a lot, or Lucio.
Yeah.
So they still have... I don't think that Dignitas would ban a support, because they basically hurt themselves more than anything else. There are other supports around, but I really think that for Zealots, having Uther over Malfurion would probably be the better spot here. And also they would give them a cleanse, which they now don't have. They still have Nature's Cure, but that's about it. Garrosh being taken on the last spot. Very popular, as we said before, in Korea. Being played a bit also in North America, but not really popping up too much in Europe. This is the second time that we have Garrosh in Europe. Leftovers played him once. Outside of that, we haven't seen Garrosh yet. But yeah, the support situation is really interesting to me.
We definitely have adjustments here from Zealots.
I mean, you want to have Lucio against Genji is always great, because Sound Barrier cancels out Dragon Blade. Then you have Tyrael shields on top of it too. So with all the AoE damage that Dragon Blade brings out, that's the dream that you have there. Now you have, on the other hand, also Lunara with a lot of damage over time, the AoE damage that she has. Then Genji on top of that, so you can really counteract that situation. But yeah, it's still an interesting battle that they have here. Banning out Uther, taking Malfurion for themselves. Could have even seen them with a ban on Lucio, to be honest, when they want to go all in on the Genji train.
A lot of options here for Zealots, that's for sure. But Garrosh coming in can throw someone into a route, set up for a combo. Lenara gets a couple of auto attacks in, and Genji can clean up the target. And there's a lot of tasty picks available on the opposing side. Diablo was a nice pickup for that last pick for Dignitas, giving them a little bit more of a stronger front line so they can make sure they control that Garrosh that could be coming their way,
and
or
also,
any other warrior.
They don't have a cleanse against Diablo, so that's another thing super important here to note. With Uther, you would still have the stun after Garrosh throw, and you would have a cleanse, but now they don't have that, as we are heading into game number 2, and we have Dignitas going up on Sky Temple against the Zealots.
All right, On the right side here, Zealots coming in. Chris playing Lenara, Zarmony playing Blaze, Mopsio on Garrosh, Shad playing Malfurion, and ADRD on Genji. Haven't seen ADRD on Genji in a while.
Did you just introduce Zealots?
Yeah, I did.
You were supposed to do Dig.
Well, Dig just got completely duped.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Dig. We
Feels
don't hate
bad.
you, I promise.
Should we still introduce
The
them?
cat food's getting to me, man. It's in my head. I feel lightheaded.
I think it would be the polite thing to still introduce them. So we have Wooby on Tyrael, Snitch on the Haka, already a switch, Poik on Hanzo, Zelia on Lucio, and JPL on Diablo. So yeah, once again, that triple melee setup that we have seen from Dignitas now a few times in the past. They have been running, we have in general seen triple melee a bit more often. And to be honest, as we are heading into the season, into 2018, I expected to see more triple melee, but I expected to see more melee assassins as the third pickup, and that hasn't really come true. We still see the triple melee setup, but it's oftentimes one main tank and then two off tanks, or yeah, something along those lines. So very little melee assassins in these melee compositions.
Yeah, you were thinking Illidan, Kerrigan, Thrall. Sadly, those heroes just miss out on a wave clear, and it seems like wave clear again has become popular for our top laners. But I do miss them. I hope that we get some more mix in at the Western Clash. A little bit more bullies in those top lanes. I think Thrall actually is hidden strong.
Yeah.
If you're able to finish up your quest.
It's also, you have a lot of melees now against Lunara. If she can stay at arm's length, she should be able to get a good amount of poke damage in and really help out with this. I'm really a bit fearful though what Diablo can do later on. JPL should be able to really move in and try to bully Zealots around here, especially if it gets a shot at Lunara herself. So it's a bit early, of course, to talk about that, but let's see how JPL, how much of an impact he's going to have. Mopsio on Garrosh is, of course, also super important here. He's always going to be in a spot where he will try to get these setups for Malfurion for the increased lockdown, and then a couple of hits with Genji and Lunara.
I mean, you were talking about picks for Diablo on Lunara, but if Genji oversteps his bounds, suddenly Diablo forces him to be pulled into the team. He gets controlled there, and you have Lucio that can make sure to speed down and force a fight with the rest of the team. So a lot of options available for Dignitas. It's all about reacting, though. A lot of reaction plays here for Dignitas, and some eventual aggressive plays later on when that 13 and 16 comes online for that Diablo.
Yeah. So with that being said, we have now also in terms of talents, let's take a quick look at Garrosh, since we don't have him that often in HGC Europe. Unrivaled Strength taken as the level 1 talent, and we're seeing the Thirst for Blade on level 4 now. So the cooldown reduction on Bloodthirst. In general, when you're looking at the professional play, cooldown reduction talents are always a super high priority for our players.
Especially when you have incredibly strong basic hits. I mean, one of the most important power spikes for Dahaka, we always talk about, level 7, Feeding Frenzy. When you're able to work in auto text to get 2 seconds shaved off of the drag, you now have CC within a team fight again. Yeah,
just in general, everything that's cooldown reduction based is always a big deal. With Diablo, we could expect on level 7 its momentum being taken. We see it oftentimes on heroes like Kerrigan as well. So yeah, cooldown reduction is always a big bonus. If you can work these auto attacks in and proc that, then you're in a spot where you can just use abilities so much more. For now, the teams are heading into level 7 as we have an exchange in Temple. So in the middle of the map, Zealots have claimed the control of the first one. We're up to the top. We're now seeing Lucio hovering around together with Tyrael, who's protecting him, of course, a bit zoning here, and also starting to deal with the night camp that the Zealots have picked up a few seconds earlier.
Notice a change on the Hanzo build, by the way. We're moving into a Q build, typically making it a little bit more safer for you to play Hanzo. Once you're able to hit the quest that you finish up on hitting 5 opposing targets a few times, you're able to get more damage in as well. But this is also a really good response to both Lenara and the Garrosh. Garrosh, if you step up to him, suddenly he has an opportunity to combo you, which is scary. But Lenara also trades pretty well, especially post later on when she gets different talents off to help out. JPL being thrown over the wall here into a fort. ADRD goes in. He's getting combo to death. He's going to start walking out. Can he escape? No. Zealots get a kill.
That was awesome by Mopsio. JPL did not expect that. And this is one of those things where you feel like, all right, I got him. And he moves in and he crushes Malfurion into the wall, flips him over. And I didn't notice it either. I really just looked at the scene and was just like, oh yeah, Malfurion is in trouble. And all of a sudden, Diablo gets flipped over the wall. And I was like, how did that happen? I'm like, oh my god, yeah, of course, Garrosh. So yeah, great play here by Mopsio, and JPL, I think, got caught a bit off guard here, which leads to the first blood for Team Zealots. So cool play from Mopsio. And that was probably one of those moments when JPL looked at it and was just like, oh god, what just happened? Unlucky, yeah.
It is weird to see Diablo, this big, hunkering, powerful meat machine, just get thrown across a field into a field and unable to escape. Good play there by Mopsio. Experience moving up to level 9 here for our teams. Temple up soon. As Team Dignitas and Zealots are actually neck and neck. Zealots hitting 9 first.
Yeah, that's one of those failfish moments when you just stand there and it's like, okay, I think I overlooked something. Nah, well done here. So, yeah, Mopsio and his boys, they get the first kill. Of course, pushing JPL back for now, but we have still even experience. Very even game so far, 1 kill that we saw. But we've seen also how aggressive Diablo can be with those pushes. Yes, he fell to the nice move that we saw from Garrosh, but in the end, it's really just a bit of a, how much of an impact Diablo can have later on when he starts to move in and make these attacks happen.
Attacks continue to happen here as Dignitas is working on their level 10. So is Zealots, and they'll both get it before the temples activate. We'll have one up in about 14 seconds here. 10 now is hit for Zealots, and we have the taunt coming in for Garrosh.
I like Leaping Strike for Lunara. Yes, Thornwood Mines would be a really cool tool against all the melee heroes that we have for Team Dignitas, but Leaping Strike makes you a bit more safe against Diablo charging and also against Dehaka when he starts to flank, because it's definitely going to be one of the main targets for Snitch to try and go for Lunara here.
Gives you a possibility to actually get kills too if you're able to help the target, helping out with Genji as well. Mopsio comes in, looks for a combo, is unable to get it. Wubby controlling the space here on Tyrael as he looks at the temple. Aggressive push from Zealots, they try to chase him down. Yeah,
they're trying to go for it, and also they still maintain control of the temple here. We have Wubby now in a spot where he has to be careful, but he can jump out. Great route on the ground here by Shed. Really well done. Snitch is moving in. Apoc comes into play. The isolation has already hit Malfurion. He goes down, has no chance to use his Twilight Dream, but the Dragon Blade comes out, and immediately Zelia reacting with his sound barrier. Great play by Dignitas as they try to go for ADRD and Mopsio, but the Zealots are starting to move out of the fight.
And boy, keep him to the auto attacks. ADRD moves in, does look for a fight. Well, he's getting chased down by Zelia as well as Hanzo. Boy jumps over the wall, gets the auto attack in. ADRD will fall, but so does Diablo.
Yeah, they got the counter kill, and now they're trying to go for Snitch here. Chris is extremely low, needs to be careful, but Snitch is falling, and that's a nice double kill here for the Zealots. A 2-for-1 trade at this point. Really well played. Mopsio can still tap at the fountain, does exactly that, and starts moving back into the fight. The Zealots here doing well against Team Dignitas.
And this fight has been pretty prolonged. Tyrael's now back, as well as Malfurion, who was picked off at the beginning of the last fight. Zealots grab a space down here to the south, looking to grab the temple as Wubby joins in. It's currently a 3-on-4 as Team Dignitas is trying to hold the space. Diablo's on his way, and so is Dehaka.
Yeah, Dehaka is moving to the top for experience. There's only a few shots left on the temple, and they seem to be willing to give them up. Wubby is in trouble here. Zarmini, nice jet propulsion attempt by him, but Wubby just a few seconds too early. But the idea was great by Zarmini. Immediately jet propulsion for the sword, trying to take him out here. And Wubby was in trouble, but he's able to move out. Zealots with the lead in experience and also the lead in kills. They're doing well here.
Yeah, and them controlling that temple actually sets them up to take down the fort. So they'll have the first fort of the game. Team Zealots and Team Dignitas neck and neck for the moment as we move towards level 13. Now, Dignitas, of course, moving towards power spikes. Level 13 for Diablo. Dehaka continuing to grab his 13 as well, where he can reduce armor. Hanzo himself will become a little bit more deadly too with his ability to jump around at level 13, but 16 with that flawless technique if he wants to move into it. Same time though, look at Zealots. Lunara, she's about to get some damage too at level 13.
Yeah, for sure. She can definitely go into unfair advantage if she wants here. If she also feels threatened, there's a lot of tools for Lunara on 13. It's one of the most versatile talents that you have on the hero. But also with Zealots now starting to take a bit of a lead, even though at this point they're getting attacked on the camp, it is still their map choice and their most successful map, and they're trying to bring this into a kill. The Mopsio has to be a bit cautious here in the back, but the fight is already starting up as ADRD moves in again. The sound barrier is being used as the Dragon Blade has popped off. Zelia is pushed away. Here comes the Sanctification by Tyrael. JPL has also used Apocalypse, but they're still trying to get away here, and it looks like Snitch is not going to be able to get out of this spot. Well, maybe. Zelia barely gets the shield from Tyrael. Can Dignitas actually walk away with every single hero? It seems as if Wubby can't, but that was still close.
Shad didn't even have to use Twilight Dream in that fight. That's how heavily Zealots were winning that fight. The great control, the bunker helping out as well, and Lunara being in a spot where she was consistently safe allowed for her to get free auto attacks in the fights, and Zealots walk away with that win.
But to be honest, Dignitas was able to walk out there with only one death, and it looked for a long time as if they would lose 2 or 3 heroes here. Now the boss is being attacked, And I want to come back to this being the map choice of Zealots, because it is one of their best maps by far. They have played on Sky Temple 5 times, and they have an 80% win ratio here. They love to play this map, and it shows why. They are extremely strong here right now. Once again, we have to fight for the boss stone. They haven't won it yet. They are all moving in, and immediately the Warlord's Challenge being used, and the kill against Lucio. He is down, and so is Dehaka. The double kill, as we see, with a triple Diablo falling, losing all his souls. And the Zealots are now in full chase mode. They take Hanzo down, and they are not taking any prisoners here. The boss on the way down through the bot lane, and they want their keep. They go for the wall right away. And there's still another 10 seconds until we have Team Dignitas back. This could be the first keep of the game.
Yeah, it certainly could. And there's 2 temples behind this that Zealots can move over and grab as well. So they open up the keep wall, look at the gate as well. Wubby and Diablo doing their best to control the space here, but Zealots very happy with that. 15.5 in experience. They start to pull away as they're going to control those temples and start getting shots on their opponents.
Yeah, they're moving straight to the bottom and to the middle. They can actually even take the fort down in the mid lane if they wanted to. Can focus on that. The boss is still active. They have full vision of the 5-man of Team Dignitas. And let's not forget that the Zealots have a 2-level lead. And they're closing in on 16, getting the talent advantage. So both of the temples in their hands now. They have shots fired all across the map, and they have a 2-level lead with level 16 at this point. Great situation for them to be in. Dehaka moving in at the bot lane. Jet Propulsion saving Blaze, though. Allows Zarmani to move back here. But Zealots, very respectable lead that they have over Team Dignitas. And again, Dignitas has only lost a single map this season. Only once against Team Liquid. But if the Zealots continue, they could be the 2nd team to beat Dignitas.
Well, Dignitas still in here. And with them moving to the south, they stop the temple from showing away on their keeps. They still have all their keeps standing up. And they're only a level behind their opponents now. Well, 2 levels, but a talent behind by only 1 level, as they would like to get that 16. They have Giants pushing in as well, so they can defend for a little bit here. They can weather the storm. But Zealots, as you mentioned, controlling space well, being ahead of Dignitas. Things you did not expect to hear today.
Yeah. And Garrosh actually is doing really well for them too. We have Blood Craze taken on level 13, so it's all about the heals for Garrosh now. And his sustain that he has in these fights really shows, especially when we were talking on the boss point about the big fight as Diablo moved in and Dehaka as well. Having Warlord's Challenge, that secured the kill against Lucio. Just as Lucio comes in for the boop, trying to push them out, Warlord's Challenge forces him to attack. He's in a vulnerable spot. Zealots capitalize on it, take the kill, and from that point on, they could just take down nearly the entire team. So really well played by Mopsio, and Garrosh turns out to be an absolutely fantastic pick for them here on the map.
That it has been. Will it pay off enough, though? Can they secure the win? There will be 2 temples spawning soon, one in the north and one in the south, and Dignitas has hit level 16. Flawless Technique comes on for Hanzo, which allows for his damage to spike up pretty dramatically there. We're going to see if he's able to finally secure some kills if JPL and Stitch can find a target to pick on. Also, look what Dignitas is doing. Now that they have 16 and they know they are behind, they start to be very aggressive. They burst drop forward. They're trying to be aggressive and force fights since they know this is the best chance for them to bridge that gap in experience and really come back into this game. There's still a fort in the mid lane, something that Dignitas has to take care of at some point. Because from a structural point of view, Zealots is still ahead here. But there's the double temple. And let's not forget, the Siege Giant Cam at the bot lane is starting to pressure the lane out in favor of the Zealots. So if Team Dignitas is not taking care of it, they will eventually lose a keep. But Dehaka is already on the case and moved back down. Yeah, they have Dehaka, so they don't mind too much here. It's mostly keeping this 4-man together, that Lucio, Tyrael, Diablo, and Hanzo. They're poking in the middle lane a little bit, clearing up experience at the same time. Seems like the south target will be the main target for them to grab on terms of temples. They can also peel Dehaka back, and he can contest the top side. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to check out the boss real quick, because that's the next point, too, that makes things a little bit more hairy as well. Boss spawns in 1 minute.
They want to fight. They actually want to fight here. They're not changing temples and try to get 20 first. They want to fight right now, and they're starting to move in. Temple shots have been taken. JPL is ready. And now Zarmani is taking over the temple at the bot lane, whereas Dignitas is looking for a good angle to engage into this. Mopsio's at the front again, starts to throw them around. Stuns are coming in, Bunker's on the ground. Wow. Mopsio needs to be careful here. Sound barrier comes through as no, not used yet. Dragon Blade being used and the Apocalypse as well. Only the shields on Tyrael, but Garrosh nearly falling as he uses the bunker. And once again, Diablo falls. Diablo goes down. Whoopi is dead and 8. He already just cleans house. 1 kill, 2, 3 goes for the triple. Finally is taken out by Hanzo. But Zealots with a 3-for-1 trade again.
I was surprised he got that far in the fight. Mobstio set up a really great stun, hitting 3 members and then got a 4-man warlord taunt into a Dragon's Blade to sink, saving Dignitas.
Lucio never using Sound Barrier.
He got interrupted.
Yeah, we had Twilight Dream here as well, so he could never a chance to use the Sound Barrier. Just keep an eye on Lucio here. As we see Zelia going in, the taunt is absolutely perfect. And then Zelia wants to pull something off here, but we have also the Twilight Dream coming shortly after. Extremely well played by Zealots here. And it looked for quite some time as if Dignitas was about to win the fight, but then AD already popping off, the Twilight Dream coming out, and without Sound Barrier ever becoming a problem, there was just a fantastic fight for Zealots. They've really done a great job in the boss fight, in this fight, and in the first one around level 10 to shut Zelia down and make his life really difficult to get value out of his Sound Barrier.
Well, Dignitas will have to consider dancing around the boss now. 20 is about to hit 4 Zealots, but the temples continue to shell upon their own keeps. The top keep right now is in trouble taking damage, and Dignitas, with that consideration, goes straight for it. They move right in for the boss. They're trying to force a fight. They get a slam against Zarmany. He's been silenced as well. Will he get picked up? Bunker out the last second. He has a root 2, and he escapes.
You got to be kidding me. The silence as they go in. Sound Barrier saving them for now. That was a 5 versus 4 the entire time. Zarmany ganked and is able to survive. Chris wants to make sure that he slows them down, and that's exactly what he's trying to do here. They're chasing them. The core is already being attacked here. Zarmany looks for an opportunity. Oh my god, like, they can simply go for boss now. But unbelievable that he was able to survive. He got hit by the isolation, get completely taken out, and just before he falls, the silence back, he gets the bunker, goes in, gets saved by his teammates, and now it's a fight for boss, 20 against 18.
Zealots in control of the boss, kiting to the right side here. JPL steps forward, hoping to control the area as well. Zealots with the pressure play, keeping Dahaka out of lanes as well. Dahaka's even here to help out with the fight. Team Dignitas keeps it leashed.
Diablo has no souls. They have no souls and they have no ults. They have only Sanctification. It's the only one together with Apocalypse that they can use. But Bunker is up. The only ult that Zealots are missing out right now is Twilight Dream. Everything else is still available, and that includes the Warlord's Challenge. So they can use that at any point, and they're already moving in. Zarmany, Mobstio, they're trying. Bunker's on the ground. Here comes the APOC. The Sanctification is on the ground. They're trying to get the boss, and they're nearly getting it, but at the same time, Zealots is lowering low in HP. Chris is still alive, but there's a kill on both sides. Hanzo down, and so is Malfurion as they are moving in again, but Wooby is about to fall, and Snitch is also getting low. Zelia moves in again, trying to boop them away.
Material
he
trade.
might get the boss. It's so close.
It's so close here, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Zealots finally clean up the fight, and they'll get the boss, wiping all 5 members of Team Dignitas. They'll get up, gear on up, and head straight down to the core. 16
kills against 4. Zealots with an absolutely fantastic game, an incredible team fight here again as they move straight for the core. The boss is of course on its way as well, but this is game. Team Dignitas is losing their second map in HGC 2018. They lose to Zealots on Sky Temple after they recently lost to Team Liquid of Tomb of the Spider Queen. The Zealots victorious.
Zealots getting a lead in that match, able to dance around the boss, and Dignitas, they had
Don't get too excited.
They
it's
had
a tie.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tie, 1v1. But getting a lead there in the levels and getting a fight on the boss.
New rule in HGC, if you win against Dignitas, it counts twice.
There you go. Double the points. That's just for the Western Clash now, right? They're good to go? No. Jokes aside here, Zealot's able to come in here, get a big victory.